straight from the soul with it. Yeah.
What's going on, Struggle Squad? The Island Race coming to you live with yet another video. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to click that subscribe button. Does facts prove that LeBron James is the most overrated player in NBA history? When talking basketball with NBA fans, I like to find nothing but facts to then form my opinion. Majority of times fans are so emotionally attached to players, they blinded and they depend on different media outlets to shape their opinion that they fail to go to the sites like Basketball Reference and fully analyze the game and find facts to form their own opinion. So when they can't counter you in an argument, they resort to saying, "Oh, you a hater." But it's funny because instead of holding players accountable, they make excuses. Now, does facts prove LeBron James is the most overrated player in NBA history? Let's see. LeBron James came into the NBA as one of the most hyped up NBA players and has been getting praise since his days of high school. I mean, probably earlier than that. Legend has it that LeBron James makes the players around him better. Let's see. In LeBron James' first two professional seasons, their winning record did improve, which was impressive. But a lot of fans will give all the credit to LeBron so much that they fail to see that he really had talent around him. But they discredit the talent because they aren't superstar names. Once the team wins, then players acknowledge the other talent that's around him. So let's go back to the beginning. On that 2003 Cavs team, this is when LeBron James was drafted. Their winning record did increase, but they had Carlos Boozer who averaged 15 points per game. People discredit the guy Ilgauskas, but he was an all-star before LeBron James was drafted. He played, he averaged 17 points per game the year before LeBron James came to the league. Yet his numbers dropped while playing with LeBron James. Next, you have Ricky Davis. You may say, who? But Ricky Davis, whose nickname was Ricky Buckets, averaged 20 points per game in 2002, the year before LeBron James came to the NBA. This is for the Cavaliers. His numbers dropped once LeBron James joined the team. They had Darius Miles, who didn't have the best average, 10 points per game in '03, but coming off the bench, if you have the right coach, the right system, and you let the coach do their job, then it will help you. Darius Miles did eventually go on to play for the Trailblazers and average 14 points per game. Now, I'm not saying these guys are superstars, but like I said, with a great coach and the talent, getting everyone involved, of course, they're going to get better. So eventually Mike Brown came, and people like to discredit Mike Brown, which they do to build LeBron James up. They tear other people down just so they could build LeBron James up and once again overhype him. And it's coming from ESPN and major media outlets with a lot of power that's brainwashing a lot of these fans, and that they're not able to see the truth. Mike Brown is a great defensive mind, which is why Golden State has become so successful defensively. People don't understand that defense wins championships. We know this saying, defense wins championships. So let's fast forward just a little bit. Back in, 2000, the Cavs had improved and they added Larry Hughes, who averaged 18 points per game. The first season with the Wizards, he averaged, the first season he averaged 18 points per game, and that following season he averaged 22 points per game. This season before, this is around 2005, 2006, when the Cavs, added Mike Brown, and this when they started getting better. The 2005 season, they got better as far as like their win percentage. But Mike Brown, being a defensive mind that he is, he realized that they really needed defense in order to get further and make it to the finals. And that's what happened. That's when they were ranked fourth defensively, and they added Larry Hughes, and that's when they started to get a little bit better. Larry Hughes once averaged 22 points per game, before he joined with LeBron. But unfortunately, joining with LeBron, his number dropped once again. Now, players don't average big numbers with the Spurs, but they contribute enough as a collective group playing team basketball and team defense that they're successful. Ilgauskas averaged 15 points per game, that season. The next season, the team was able to reach the NBA Finals. You know, Mike Brown knew that they needed to get better defensively, and they in the next year, 2006, they ranked fourth defensively. They ranked in the top five defensively to make it to the NBA Finals. The Cavs were swept that year in NBA Finals, but people say LeBron didn't have no help. Well, who helped him beat the Pistons, who had the number one seed? This was one of the best teams with Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace. They were NBA champions before. So who helped him beat that team? That was not just no average Joe Blow team. They were the number one seed and they were beating teams. So who helped him? You can't just beat a team by yourself. He had help. And then you hear people say, oh, they bring up excuses and say teams, this team might have been old or this team might have been old. But Tim Duncan was 37 and Manu Ginobili was 36 the year, when they destroyed the stacked Miami Heat with LeBron James in 2014, 2015 4-1 in the NBA Finals. But we're going to save that for later. We're going to go back to this finals. LeBron James averaged 27 points the entire regular season, but once he got to the NBA Finals in 2006, he was outballed by Tony Parker, and LeBron only averaged 22 points per game. In game one, LeBron James averaged 14 points, 4 assists, and 7 rebounds with 6 turnovers. The problem with LeBron James in these finals in 2006 was he didn't show up in the fourth quarter and he had a total of 23 turnovers in the finals. This was him by himself. In the Eastern Conference Finals, it was 2005. LeBron James had the Detroit Pistons up 3-2 and could have defeated the Pistons at home and blew a 3-2 lead. So we fast forward to 2008 and 2009. LeBron James had the number one seed 2 years in a row. In the 2008-2009 season, LeBron James had the number one seed. The 2009-2010 season, LeBron James had the number one seed. That's 2 years in a row. But he quit on his team. Everybody likes to talk about the big three in Boston and how great they were, but LeBron James had a better record than them 2 years straight. And you don't get there, you don't have the best record 2 years straight by not having any help. But that wasn't enough. 2010-2011, LeBron joined the Miami Heat with 2 All-Stars in Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and still lost to an old Mavericks team with a Jason Kidd who was 37 years old and only averaged 7 points. On that team, they had Brendan Haywood, Sean Marion, Caron Butler, and Jason Terry. 2011-2012, they beat OKC, but they only won 46 games. And you had one of the best teams in the East, and you were only able to win 46 games. And the funny thing about that is, his last 2 years when he was about to leave Cleveland, he had a better record than his first 2 seasons with Miami. And he had 2 All-Stars on this team, but he had All-Stars when he played with, the Cleveland Cavaliers. People don't understand that Mo Williams was averaging 17 points per game before he joined LeBron James. Like, people discredit these players because now once they get with LeBron, their numbers start to drop because LeBron has the ball in his hand majority of the time, and a lot of these guys aren't getting involved. It's a LeBron system. And if he was really making these players better, they would go from making 17 points per game or 14 points per game to averaging 20 points per game or averaging 25 points per game. In 2012, 2013, they added another great talent, one of the greatest shooters of all time, in Ray Allen. And they were stacked and still went 7 games with the Pacers. They played an old Spurs team and barely won. In 2014, 2015, they had the exact same team the next season and got destroyed by the old Spurs team 4-1. Tim Duncan was 37 years old, Manu Ginobili was 36 years old, and LeBron James quit on his team once again. So that is part 1. We're going to do part 2 and part 3. We will cover LeBron James' overrated stat, leading the playoffs in scoring and leading in every statistical category in the finals. And we're going to cover more in the second go round with the Cavs and, just break down what Dan Gilbert stated about LeBron. We're going to really fully break this down and, you guys can form your own opinion on what you guys think. Just me personally, I just feel like, LeBron James was handed a lot even the MVPs. We're going to break down the MVPs that LeBron James won throughout his career and show how a lot of those MVPs should have went to Kobe Bryant, you know. So we're going to break down a lot of this stuff, you know. In my opinion, you know, I just felt like, you know, if LeBron James was as great as people say was, he wouldn't have lost on super teams. You know, he would have had way more NBA finals than he has, and he's been afforded a lot of, you know, talent on his team. He has a former MVP coming off the bench. The Warriors don't even have that right now. The Chicago Bulls 95, 96, they never had that. They never had an MVP, former MVP coming off the bench. And like, you know, they have Derrick Rose now. You know, so the Cavs have a lot of talent right now, and if LeBron James doesn't win this year with the talent that he has, it's going to speak a lot about LeBron James. But anyway, y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe. I'm out.
Look, straight from the soul with it.